The IPL Conundrum. Will the English players feature in Phase 2? And M Factor question.
We all know that the IPL has been suspended for the time being, and our focus has shifted to the World Test Championship final. But the fact of the matter is, the IPL has to be completed. We have to play the phase 2 of the IPL because there are n number of lives that are going to get affected if the IPL doesn't happen, if it doesn't get completed. So there are two questions surrounding the IPL. First, when is it going to happen? And the second one is, if it happens, where is it going to happen? Now from my side, let me try to decode it as much as I can to help you guys understand this. Let's look at the when factor first. When is it going to happen? Now there are two windows that the BCCI has to conduct this IPL. The first one being before the World T20. So the World T20 is going to happen around 17th October to mid-November. So before the World T20, you have one window available, and then the other one is after the World T20. Now let's look at after the World T20. That's going to be around mid-November to December, early December. And they need 20 days to complete the phase 2 of the IPL with a few double headers being played and then the 4 playoff matches. So what happens is, if you go after the World T20, you won't have Aussie players, you won't have the English players, because all of them are going to travel for the cricket carnival, and that's the Ashes. And they're not going to miss the Ashes, because that's what every Australian and England player dreams of while growing up. They are not going to miss the Ashes for the IPL. So when you don't have English and Aussie players after the T20 World Cup, I feel there is no point of conducting, because they are the flair. They bring in a lot of views. There's so many people watching IPL because of the English and the Aussie players. They're so wonderful. So basically, they aren't going to be there, so you won't have that window. Let's rule that option out, because BCCI is going to be very smart in conducting this. They want all the players. So probably after the World T20, that part gets cancelled out. Now before the World T20, India's last test match is going to get over around 14th of September. So 14th of September, so around 20th September, your window starts to maybe 10th October, around that. In that span, you want to finish the IPL. That's a good time to finish. All the players are going to be free. I mean, England has two series, one against Bangladesh and one against Pakistan. And you're trying to convince them to play the IPL and not play those series, because IPL gives you better practice, and that's the fact. So the when factor is cleared, most probably 99% they're going to hold it before the World T20, because you have the English and the Australian players available that time. Now let's answer the where question. Now we amongst us have decided the IPL should be held before the World T20 because you don't have the English and the Aussie players. Now what does that do? It leaves us with deciding the venues. Now there are two proposed venues. One is UAE, which was where the IPL was held last year and was successfully held. The entire tournament was done beautifully by the United Arab Emirates. Now the other option is England, because all the English counties have requested to their board that please talk to BCCI, and we are ready. We are absolutely ready to host the phase 2 of the IPL in England in our 5 prime grounds and make this an absolute amazing event with the final at Lord's, the home of cricket. And the COVID cases in England are dropping day by day. Everybody's getting vaccinated. You never know, you have the same cricket mega blockbuster with all the crowds coming in and watching these franchises play. So that's going to be only done in England. UAE, you won't have crowds. Now, let's talk about UAE first. What happens if the IPL is in UAE? You have the World T20 also going to be held in UAE because of the COVID cases in India. I'm pretty sure it's not. I mean, I hope it goes down. I hope people start recovering faster so that you have it in India. But most likely, as BCCI tells us, that it's going to go to UAE. The whole tournament is going to be shifted to UAE. Now, if you hold the IPL before the World T20 on the same 3 grounds, you only have 3 grounds in UAE: Abu Dhabi, Dubai and Sharjah. So you're trying and tiring the pitches. And the 31 IPL games left, so 20 days, around 20 days it's going to take with all the double headers and the 4 playoffs. So in 20 days you're constantly playing on those 3 grounds and you're completely tiring those 3 grounds. So what does that do? It doesn't leave you with fresh pitches for your entire world tournament. And you want a World T20 to start on absolute beautiful fresh tracks. Now, I'm pretty sure the ICC won't compromise on a world tournament just because of the IPL. So basically the UAE option slowly dies down. And let's go to England. Your team is in England. till the 14th of September for the Test series. It finishes on the 14th of September. Indian players are going to be there. The rest of the Indian players who play Sri Lanka right now, they'll be called to England. Your English players are there. There's so many other countries who are not having any international commitments at that time. So your foreign players, like your Australian players, your New Zealand players, your South African players, your West Indian players, they all will be called to England to play over there. And it's going to be a proper, perfect venue. And I feel England should be the venue because you have 5 proper grounds. Crowds can be allowed. There's no international commitments at that time for all these countries who are not going to be present in England around when the Test series is going to get over. So they all can fly to England. India and England players are going to be there. So I feel England is the perfect venue. Now it's all on BCCI to decide. There is some news for all you IPL fans, and I'm afraid it's not great news. England's managing director and former left-arm spinner Ashley Giles has said that England's players won't miss any international commitment for the phase 2 of the IPL. Now, as we spoke, if the IPL is held before the World T20, England have 2 international commitments. Now they are Bangladesh and Pakistan. And Pakistan's tour is a historic tour because they're trying to travel to Pakistan after many years. And it's going to be one to be looking for, the whole world is going to look forward to. But you have the IPL at the same time. Now, if the IPL is held in UAE, which we don't want amongst us, as I said, if it's held in UAE, probably they won't allow the English players to play, as Ashley Giles tells us. He says that they'll go for international commitments because he had allowed them to skip the New Zealand Test series and play the IPL, which was expected to get over by the 30th of May. So basically, I mean, from his point of view, I feel he's right. But what if the IPL is held in England, as we want it to be? Because that's the most viable option. What if it's held in England? Will England love to see their players not playing the IPL? I doubt. I feel if it's held in England, probably the emotions are going to rise and the English crowd is going to try to convince ECB to allow their players to play the IPL. And probably, maybe the main players can play the IPL and a few players can be tried for the Bangladesh and the Pakistan tour. Now, which teams will get affected? The Rajasthan Royals, because Ben Stokes, Jofra Archer and Ben Stokes should be fine by then, so I'm counting them. Liam Livingston, I think he'll also be fine if the IPL is held somewhere else except India because he cited bubble fatigue when he left the IPL. So these players are going to be there, and if they are not going to play, the Rajasthan Royals is going to be a big blow. Chennai Super Kings, Moeen Ali, Sam Curran, if they are not going to be there, it's going to be tough. What about the Delhi Capitals? Sam Billings, you have Tom Curran, and many more teams. The teams that are not going to be affected are the Royal Challengers Bangalore and the Mumbai Indians. They don't have any English players in their side. They're going to be the ones who are going to be happy. But it's better if all 8 teams are happy. Now, if it happens that they say that the main players can play the IPL and they're going to go with a new lot of guys, your captain has to go, and that's Owen Morgan. So for all Kolkata fans, it's going to be heartbreaking if they don't cancel the Bangladesh and Pakistan tours because the captain has to go on these tours and he is going to play for his English national side. I hope something gets sorted out. They have some nice negotiations. The Bangladesh and the Pakistan tour are somehow framed in such a way that they don't come in way, it's going to be really tough. But if that's done, then if you have the English players playing the IPL, which we hope it's in England, it's going to be a complete different scenario to watch England players. Because the teams that are going to have these English players in bulk are going to be really having a big advantage on their side because they know these grounds.
It's time to announce the winner from last week's M Factor question. First, the question is, in this IPL award-winning list, if AB de Villiers is the first overseas and Gale comes second, who comes third, and how many times has he won the award? The answer is David Warner. He has won it 13 times. And the award that he has won 13 times is the Man of the Match award in the IPL. And we do have a winner. The person who answered it correctly first was Advait Kumar, and congratulations Advait to get this right. Well done. Today's M Factor question. This bowler-keeper combination in Test cricket ranks at number 6 in the most successful bowler-keeper combinations. Who is the bowler and who is the keeper? Do comment your answers below in the comment section.
If you enjoyed this cricketing fun, do like, share and comment. And to get to know about my upcoming videos, do subscribe Crickpedia and hit the notification bell. Thank you.